Nice, nice. All right. So we're supposed to be live on YouTube and Instagram. I know we're live on both. Now the question is, cool. The question is, I hooked up my mic, lavalier mic with the computer, so hopefully we're pretty good. So, all right, cool. Let's go. So one of the things that I wanted to do is just start going live in general. Quite honestly, I think it's something that's like really, really helpful, really good to do, because if you're going to be posting on social media, if you're going to be actually trying to make a name for yourself in your industry or just with anything that you're doing, just three things that you have to do. You have to post every single day on your regular posts. So that could be reels, that could be normal posts. You have to post a story, and you should also be going live. I never saw a purpose to going live, to be honest, because I just feel like nobody's watching. But what's up, D Farber? What's going on, brother? But I understand too, when it comes to algorithms and everything, if you're also posting live, it's also very beneficial to do. I know Gary Vee in his new book, he mentions basically what you should be doing is anytime your social media app actually like pops up something like a new feature, that means it wants you to use it. And if you use the new features that any kind of social media app actually is encouraging you to use, it will push you up in the algorithms and stuff like that as well. So I thought that was interesting. So might as well, if live is something that's available, we might as well do it. So whether there's 2 people on YouTube watching or 5 people on Instagram watching, it doesn't matter. Also, consistency is key. That's the reason why we're going to do it every Sunday at exactly 10 a.m. so people know it's going to happen. And then also what I was doing yesterday, which was, what was I doing? I was like sort of letting you guys know. Like, if you're going to do a live, you should let people know that you're going to be doing live instead of just going live. So that's why I posted yesterday that I was going to go live. And then I reminded you guys again today. These little techniques, little tricks that I know I've used over the last 4 years with Commercial Claims Advocate that I've learned, but also through reading, also through knowledge. I get a lot of questions all the time about, how do you do social media? How do you, get it going? And those are just a few of the tips and tricks. Happy Sunday, everybody. Happy freaking Sunday. David, you can't hear me? No way. That's terrible. Yeah, you should be able to hear me. That would be really bad if you can't hear me. So, all right, cool. If you can't hear me, somebody comment on anything and let me know if you can or you can't hear me, because that'd be freaking terrible. So happy Sunday, everybody. I'm going to start doing this just because I think it's beneficial for me okay, good. Hear you. Okay. Thank you, Rochelle. Shout out to you. Great public adjuster located in Miami right there. So I just want to just sort of share some of my thoughts and some of the things that are going on in my life and my business and stuff like that. I thought it would be pretty cool to do that. Happy Sunday, everybody. I got a barbecue going. We're doing pulled pork today. I've had a pork butt that was sitting in the freezer for like forever. We put it on the grill, put it in there at 6:30 a.m. and it is smoking away. So I'm pretty excited about that. As you saw a few stories earlier in the week, we've got a big family here. We've got new people here from Cuba, which is pretty exciting just because, Cuba sucks. No offense. I'm Cuban, so I can say that. But, it's not, things are not great over there. So, fuck it. I'm going to share sort of what's been going on. So, my wife and I, we've been really getting into, I started reading this book. Let me see if I can search it, by Joe Dispenza. If you haven't heard of him, like, you need this man in your life. Okay. Joe Dispenza, he is a scientist, motivational speaker. He's a scientist, teacher, lecturer, and author. Okay. So he is a scientist. His original book that was pretty popular was called What the Bleep Do We Know? And the book that I'm reading now that I'm pretty much done with is called Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. Really cool title. Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself. And I'm pretty much done with it. Basically, though, it's about mindset. And it's about, basically, scientifically speaking, you could literally create your future. And the reason why is because when you break down the human being and the human body, when you break it down into the cellular levels of what we are actually made up of, and I'm going to be telling you guys things that you probably already know, is that we're just all made up of energy. Like, just because the senses that we have, the 5 senses that we use, we see a human body, we see a table, we see a computer, I see a phone, and they're all like physical objects. All of these physical objects are broken down into cells filled with energy. And if there's any scientists watching, and I get stuff wrong, please excuse me. Science was never my forte. But it makes you really, and then energy, and then they've done tests where they have like 2 atoms or 2 cells, and basically when you're not looking at them, they'll go like a different direction. When you're looking at them, they'll do another direction. And it all boils down to the fact that we're all built up of energy, and we could basically, we could move our energy towards whatever direction that we want it to go. That is pretty fascinating. And what happens is when you change your thoughts and you really focus on your dreams and what you want to accomplish in your life and where you want to go, and you like literally visualize it in your head, where you could, in your brain, when you're visualizing it, you can not only visualize it, but you can sense it, you could feel it, you can touch it, you could hear it, you can smell it. That once you get it instilled in your brain that way, you could actually literally, you could go in the future that you want to go. Like, you could literally, you could make things happen in your life. And you have to read the book. I'm probably going to read it again just so I could explain it later. I learned something the other day where you don't understand something until you could help someone else understand something. So if I'm butchering it, it's because I may not completely understand it yet. But I am in a journey right now. I am on a very, very directed journey right now to really create the life that I want. I've got a great life already, but I've got goals. We've all got goals, and we all, I think it's nature, human nature, we all want to continue to grow. We all want to get better. But sometimes we're too busy sitting in the past. Sometimes we're too busy telling ourselves a story that is not beneficial to us whatsoever. And the fact of the matter is our thoughts are only that. They're only thoughts. They're not actually who we are. I think I don't know how many thoughts we go. It's something like, I don't know how many thousands of thoughts we go through in a day, but all they are is thoughts. That's the power of meditation, is you try to control yourself so that you don't get wandered off in thoughts and you don't, lose your path. You focus back in on the present, you focus in on your breath, because ultimately they're just 2 separate things. What you think about and what you are as a human being and who we are just 2 separate things. So when we are telling ourselves a negative story, when we are basically using negative connotations towards anything about us, that's ultimately the story that you create, and then that's the life that you create. So when you could understand and you can give yourself the power to actually create your own story, create your own life, and create your own future through the power of thought, then you are now really in control of everything. It's like a God quality, So that is what I've been focusing on, because, I had a very, contrary to what people saw on social media, we had an amazing event, Advocates United, at the end of 2023, right? I think that was just last year. Yeah, 2023. Amazing event. It cost tens of thousands of dollars. But we also had a hurricane in 2022, and I was part of a coaching program then, which is a great coaching program. It just apparently just wasn't for me, and it really focused on hiring the right people, putting yourself away from it. But I don't think I understood the full concept. And what I did is I just hired a bunch of people, and what happened is we basically were losing money. We were losing money at a rate that was very, very dangerous, and then it just all came to a head earlier here this year, 2024. And in order to make myself right, I actually went to see a therapist. I had to seek therapy really, really bad. And what I learned in therapy was, quite frankly, the story that we tell ourselves. I always had a very, very negative story that I would tell myself. And we do not, David Farber says, we do not perceive things as they are. We perceive them as we are. I would also piggyback on that, David, and say that we are at a point in our lives because we have actually created that. So if we're unhappy with where we are with our lives, it's because of us. And what I learned was that the negative story that I was telling myself, all my life was pretty crazy. Like, and what people probably perceived me as was the complete opposite. Like thinking that I've always thought that I was stupid, right? Not anymore, but I always did. It's just always a thing that growing up, you know, my mom, guidance counselor, shout out to Mrs. Perry. She was always a great guidance counselor and a great mom, but she always, she didn't want me to be hurt, right? So she would always tell me that I was average, and it was for a benefit because, you know, if I failed a test or if I did something bad, she's like, don't worry, like everyone else is the same. And I kind of always grew up like that. I always struggled in school. Very average, you know, I guess I was, you know, B and C student. In sports too, I played a lot of sports. I was always like middle of the pack, if not a little bit below. I always had to work. It taught me a lot about work ethic. But the story I would always tell myself was that, you know, I just wasn't that good at anything. And I always, what the good part about that was that I actually worked hard, and I knew that I had to work twice as hard, or I felt that I had to work twice as hard as everyone else. So the work ethic that I have, that right there is, I challenge somebody to have a stronger work ethic than I do, but continuously to tell myself that I was stupid, continuously to tell myself that I was average, continuously telling myself that, you know, I wasn't good enough, continuously hiring more people and putting people around me because I thought that I wasn't capable. And, you know, I learned that quick this year, and it really started to turn around. It started to turn around. It's like, okay. And all it was little things. It's like little, honestly, it's little, it's like grammar, like little words that you're telling yourself that are of just negative connotation that do not benefit you and do not serve you whatsoever. The story we tell ourselves is one thing, but I could take it a step further, which is literally the words that come out of your mouth or in your thoughts that are of negative connotation are just like not beneficial at all. So what happened was I started to like realize it every single time. Every single time I would catch myself, and now I catch myself all the time and just have completely turned it around. Reading this book by Joe Dispenza, which I'm telling you, you guys got to do it, teaches you how to meditate. Now, I've always done meditation. Basically, I've always been a fan of just your normal focusing on your breath, staying in the present. But what I learned with this book and with Joe Dispenza is that it's not so much about focusing on the present and living your life in the present. It's actually living your life in the future, living your life now as your future self that you want to become. When I adopted that and when I started doing that, man, life is great. Like, life is on a whole other level. Everything that I do now is as if I've already hit all my goals. I've got a note in my phone that's God knows how many words long, where I basically wrote the whole story of achieving all of my goals as if they've already done it. And then when you sit down in meditation, and you can find some amazing guided meditations, some by Joe Dispenza, but just like pick visualization of my future guided meditation, and it takes you through the whole thing. And then you get into the story that you are telling yourself, the new story of your future self, and you start to visualize it during meditation and feel it and smell it and touch it and hear it. That's when you start now like changing, right? Changing the future. And I've already noticed literally in just a few weeks, like things are happening like really, really good. And they're like all fucking coming true. It's really incredible. And I'm going all in. I'm going all in to the point that I forgot, I think January 8th, my wife and I are going to a Joe Dispenza 2-day retreat. No, it's Friday. Yeah, half day Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So 2.5 day retreat in Los Angeles, California. So if you are in Los Angeles, we will be there. We will be arriving on Wednesday night. We'll be there all day Thursday. I mean, honestly, if got anybody here who's out in Los Angeles, let's go. Let's meet up. But I'm excited about that, where it's going to be a whole 3-day retreat of just like really visualizing your future and stuff. So I'm very, very excited about that. On top of that, what I'm most excited about is I've learned that what you want for others is really what you want for yourself. So everything that I want to accomplish now, I take that the other way, is I want everyone else around me to accomplish that as well. So I have been learning like crazy and educating myself. I'm also now part of Dan Martell's coaching program. He's phenomenal. Shout out to Dan Martell. Like he's just he gets it, and he's more my speed, just like very like get in your face type motivation. And everything that I'm learning and everything that I'm wishing upon myself, I am wishing upon everyone else. I am teaching to everyone else, and it's really just like made my life so much more pleasurable, man. Like where we have leadership training with my elite resolutions team every single Monday. I'd never done that before. I have to prepare for that thing, man, just because I want them all to grow like I'm growing and to go like to a whole other level, not just for the company, but for themselves. Because I know that if I could do whatever I can to help them get to whatever they want and all their dreams and all of their goals and all of their accomplishments, like I know everyone's 10-year crazy, ridiculous, big, hairy, audacious goal. I know all of their yearly goals, and I want to do whatever I can to like help them get there, even if it's just like reminding them, right? Whatever it is. And I just feel that they're going to take me, if I can help them go to the next level, they're going to help me go to the next level. And my wife is all in on it too, which is really cool. She's always been on it. I don't know if you guys know, but she was diagnosed with breast cancer while she was pregnant. I forgot what month it was. It was probably like a good 6 months in. And she started practicing all this stuff then. Visualization, meditation, positive thinking, just already seeing the future of an amazing life and just totally healthy, cancer-free, amazing child, smiling and laughing and energetic and perfect. And let me tell you something, that could have easily gone the other way. And now my son, whoever's met my son, or you see him on social media, like that kid smiles 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, except for when he's a toddler and he does what he does. But I mean, it's amazing. He smiles all the time. And it's all because of that. It has to be, because it could have easily gone the other way around. Nathan, you have to tell me in depth about the Joe Dispenza retreat. I haven't jumped in and hit one yet, but visualization is a key component. I mean, it is everything, man. It is everything. It is everything. So I'm glad that my wife's all in on it. I'm trying to get my team all in on it. You know, people are always like, the meditation and all that ooey gooey stuff and stuff like that. I honestly have been like an atheist most of my life. And I mean, I don't know what, but when he breaks it down into a science, that for me is what sold me, because it's like, it's just scientifically fact of what your cells and energy, that we're made up of energy and all these things are. Like it's a scientific fact. So that's what was really sold it to me. So, and then also honestly, what we're doing with the mastermind, like I'm just like so all in on it. And when I started Commercial Claims Advocate and social media and that whole thing, everybody was always like, oh, you're so amazing for giving it all away. You're giving all the tricks, you're giving all the secrets away. You're giving all these things away. Like, wow, thank you so much. And I get compliments. I get people all the time that tell me like, literally, I learned everything about public adjusting just from your YouTube channel. But I did it for me. I didn't do it for anybody else. I did it for me. I did it because I wanted to sign larger losses. I wanted to establish myself as an expert in the industry, and I wanted to, make millions of dollars, right? But I didn't do it for anybody else. Now that I'm in the place where I'm at in regards to just my mindset, it's like now, and believe it or not, I held a lot of things back. And as we were scaling the company last year, and we were doing different things, I didn't tell anybody that we were scaling, really. I didn't give away what we were doing. And everything was very, honestly, pretty selfish. And now with the mastermind, like we're giving it all away. I know this is starting to sound like a pitch, but it's not. It's literally like, you could ask, we got Nate here who's watching on YouTube. We are like literally everything that I'm learning, everything that we're doing, we're sharing, learning, doing, sharing, everything and everything. And I just want to see everyone else around me like just get on this like wavelength that I'm on right now, because it's just, I don't know, it's just better for everyone. So that's where I've been over the last couple of months. This year was like rough, but luckily, you have to have a good partner. My wife, she definitely was just like, it got to a point where she's like, what the fuck? And she's like, we need to see therapy. And I said, no, I need to see therapy first. Let me get my shit figured out first. And thankfully, my therapist, Jennifer, shout out to you, Jennifer, or I know you're not listening, but she was a huge help, man. Like, just like, wait, you just said this. Why did you say that? You just called yourself stupid again. Why did you do that? Like, there's no point. Like, you've done this, you've done this, you've accomplished this, you've accomplished that. And all of us could just look within and see what we've accomplished. And, you know, law of attraction in play. When the tide rises, everyone else rises. That's right, Nate. And that's what we're doing. So I'm just excited. You know, I don't know what this is going to be like every Sunday in our life. I don't know if it's going to be this in depth in regards to what I've been going through, but I don't know. It's just going to be whatever. If anybody's any questions, I mean, please, like, on the chat, that'd be awesome. Marshall, I'm all in on it. Yeah, buddy. Marshall's like my man, my partner in crime here at Elite Resolutions in Houston, Texas, guys. Honestly, this guy, Marshall, one of the best public adjusters that I know. And he's only been doing it for, I think, what, 3-4 years now, Marshall? He was a roofer before, and he's just like soaked it all in. And honestly, best public adjuster in Houston by far. I'm not even going to say that just because he's at Elite, but he is elite, that's for sure. Gordy Roofing Incorporated, sharing is the key. It's just crazy when you share all the information. You think you're giving stuff away, but all you're doing is empowering, and you're empowering others around you, which ultimately empowers you to just go to the next level. And by me get what we're doing now in Elite Resolutions, next Wednesday, you're going to see a good YouTube video where I was interviewed. And the interview starts as like, what's the initiative with Elite Resolutions? And the initiative with Elite Resolutions right now, for me as the owner of the company, is all marketing. All. Like, I am going head first, deep dive, like just everything that I've learned at Commercial Claims Advocate on how I've been able to get this following. We are just going all in with Elite Resolutions to become like the digital marketing success story of public adjusting. And I'm going to share it with everybody. Like, we're starting with our landing pages and nurture sequences and all these lead magnets that it's all put together. We're starting to give it away. It's going to basically launch in January. And I can't wait to see that succeed, because it's very difficult in our industry for two reasons. It's a sudden accidental event. So how do you market a sudden and accidental event? And then the second thing is, quite frankly, a lot of people don't even know what a public adjuster is, and they're just normally just going to do it themselves. You know, using a public adjuster, I think, is a luxury. So they may not even want to use a public adjuster. So not only is it sudden and accidental, but they don't necessarily have to hire us. But I know we're going to do it because I've already seen it. I already see the Super Bowl commercial. Everybody knows what my crazy, big, hairy, ridiculous goal is we're going to have a Super Bowl commercial. So that's going to be great. Whether it's Elite Resolutions or just a bunch of public adjusters, I've already visualized it's going to be a hilarious and widely successful Super Bowl commercial that everyone in the world is going to see. So yeah, so that's where I'm at, guys. That's where I'm at. What is WOU, Edwin? Wow? Is it a wow? I hope it's a wow. Hope that's what that's supposed to be. So anyway, we're out here grilling. I think that's all I got. Can't wait for Los Angeles. So if anybody can get anything out of this, is definitely download that book. Oh, one more thing that I started listening to at the same time while reading this book. All right, listen to this. Bob Proctor, You Were Born Rich. That's easy because it's an audio. Basically, this thing was in 1985. It was a live on TV thing that they turned into cassettes. It sounds super 1985 cheesy. And Nate's going to be in the commercial. Yes, you are, sir. Super 1985 cheesy, but man, it's the same thing. Like, he talks about the scientific part of basically creating our futures, man. And what You Were Born Rich means we were all born with the capability of being rich, of being multimillionaires. So get that. You guys need to download that like immediately. It's on Audible. You could probably get it on Spotify. I haven't checked, but You Were Born Rich by Bob Proctor. It is cheesy, but get through it. It is awesome. God, it's so good. So good. It's like the best thing ever. Oh, and then the last thing that I wanted to share is the way my mindset has changed is a lot of people don't want to become millionaires because they're either afraid to become millionaires, or they think that millionaires suck, or they think that people who are rich are just like, you know, they take advantage of people. Let me tell you something about becoming a multimillionaire, which I don't know because I'm not a multimillionaire. But why I want to become a multimillionaire is because you can help more people. You cannot help people if you're broke. So let's get rich. Let's make a lot of money. That's right. So that you could buy a house, so that you could host people and feed people. Let's buy a house so that you could have people over and a place to sleep sometimes. Let's be rich so that we can take people on amazing trips. Like the other day, listen to this, on Halloween. I've only shared this with a few people. Get ready for this. We had a family member who is married with 2 kids. They have all, over the last year or 2 years, they all came from Cuba. And like people hear about Disney World, like it's like the most amazing thing ever. So it's something that we had been wanting to do, my wife and I. But anyway, the day after Halloween, they sleep over. The day after Halloween, she comes in and she's just like, she comes into the room. She's like, you want to do it? You want to like take him to Disney? Mind you, it's 4 people at Disney. That's not fucking cheap. And I was like, yeah, talk to the parents. Let's do it. So the best part was, I'm like, let's surprise them though. So we walk out and the kids are there. They're like eating their breakfast. And I just walk into the kitchen. I'm just like, guys, like we need to go. We need to go now. And they're looking at me like, what is this guy talking about? I said, we're late. We're late because if we don't go now, we're not going to be able to do anything. So let's go. Let's get ready. We need to go. And they're just like, what is this guy talking about? And I'm like, we're going to Disney World. The reaction, like I'm getting chills. Every time I tell this story, I get chills. Like I started crying. My wife started crying. They're like all like started like tearing up. Like, and we've just paid for the whole thing. And yeah, it costs a lot of money. But man, you do things like that. It's like, that's what you make money for. I can't wait to do more things like that because I'm going to be a multimillionaire. That's right. It's already happened in my head. And so can you. Ooh, we got some comments. Let's go. Nate, that is our goal. Create real wealth and give back in real ways. Hell yeah. Hurricane relief. Semi-trailers full. I like that. That's awesome. Edwin, I have one question. Ooh, we got a claim question. How would you manage a hailstorm claim when the carrier only pays for vents, soft metals on a 3-tab 20-year-old shingle roof? Jesus, Edwin, we need more information. I wasn't ready to answer a question like that. How would you manage a hailstorm claim when the carrier only pays for soft metals on a 3-tab 20-year-old roof? Yeah, depends on how much damage there is. Because one thing that I have been telling people that they do not want to hear is if you're claiming something that only has a handful of damage and you're going to argue that it just all needs to be replaced because it's a not repairable roof, that's great. You can do it, but just don't expect to just all of a sudden get that claim paid. Look at my last story. Look at my last YouTube video that just came out Wednesday. And I go to one house where there's no damage, some creased shingles. I'm not signing it. Why? Just no point. And then I go to another house and there's missing shingles everywhere. That's the one I'm going to sign because I like slam dunks. So Edwin, if that's that kind of claim where there's soft metal damage and there's a couple damaged shingles, then go ahead, file it. But just don't be surprised when they don't want to pay it. That's my answer to that. Sign better claims. Walk away from the ones that may or may not get paid and sign slam dunks. And just wait. You're better off waiting for a better claim. George, I have both of those in my library. Never heard of them though. This is now my year-end goal. Let's go, George. I don't know what your year-end goal is, but it should be to basically, learn how to meditate and visualize your future. Because the more you can visualize it and sense it. So I learned from Dan Martell, SDE. I taught this to the team yesterday, last Monday. SDE. You have to sense it, desire it, and expect it. SDE. You have to sense it, desire it, and expect it. So you have to sense it. You have to close your eyes, meditate, feel yourself in your future, but you have to sense it. That means you have to hear it, you have to feel it, you have to smell it, you have to taste it, you have to smell it, all of it in your visualization. And you have to truly desire it. Desire what it is that you want. And fuck your past. Forget your past. Like, it's just like, forget it. That's gone. Doesn't matter. And forget fear. Just literally live in your future. So you have to desire to really want it. And to me, what is it that we say? I learned this from Dan Martell. What you desire, you desire what you want for others. Yeah. Acquire what you desire for others. So when you're like now putting yourself in a, like, I'm going to give back, I'm going to become a millionaire and give back, that's going to help you want to desire it more. I could take more kids to Disney World that can't afford it. That's going to really increase my desire. And then expect it. Just expect it. Like, it's done. It's going to happen. There's just no doubt. like zero doubt. And I'm at a point right now, there's no doubt. There's no doubt there's going to be a Super Bowl commercial. I've already seen it. There's no doubt that this mastermind that we're building, Nate, get ready. There's going to be 100 people before the end of the year. It's just so good. And I have big news, by the way, Nate, to share on Monday that I'm not even going to share here. So I don't want to, but I will share eventually. So, all right, guys, that's it. I really wanted to do about 30 minutes. So thank you guys for watching. I was actually much more, I was not expecting the amount of people that we had, which is only about 5 or 6 people, but hey man, that's fine by me. We'll do this on Sundays more. Hopefully I have more to talk about, but yeah, that's where I've been. Honestly, everyone, let's go, let's get after it. We're closing down this year. Merry Christmas to everybody, because yeah, next Sunday will be after Christmas. So Merry Christmas to everybody, or Happy Hanukkah, or Kwanzaa, or all those other ones. Happy holidays. I hope you guys have an amazing time. Be with your family, with your loved ones. Be grateful. Like just be grateful. If you could just sit in gratitude, honestly, that's obviously amazing as well. So if you learn anything, just sit in gratitude and visualize your future. But Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy holidays, all of it. I hope you guys have a killer week. You will have a killer week. And yeah, elite resolutions, leadership training is still on tomorrow. I've got a few one-to-ones, and we have our awesome mastermind at 3:30 p.m. Eastern tomorrow, Monday. My favorite day of the week, by the way, because I get to really get back and really coach. So big news of the mastermind coming tomorrow in class. So get ready for that. And elite resolutions, let's go. And everyone else, let's go. All right, guys, see you later. Thank you for watching. Let me end stream now. And now, end stream.